Hey YouTube, just set me down, and I am going to talk to you about um, this book here, WC, The Classical Manual of Combat by Patrick McCarthy. Um, I am just about done with it. I'm basically on the very end part of it. Basically talks about the fighting and stuff. Very old traditional methods. I never seen a book like this before. That's very explainable and such detail on certain things. Um, David is when you're learning out of a book. Um, some of it, it's like you know, you can only learn so much of a book. That's his thing anymore. Like anymore. Most people whether watch it on video or learn it off video and or instead of reading out of a book and learn on their own on newer things. And to me that's what today is society is all about. They better look the information up on a video than just to be able to sit there and watch a video for like 3 to 10 minutes, because supposedly they don't have time to sit down and read a book. Uh, to me, knowledge is power in a way. Uh, all martial art masters have always said this, that knowledge is power, and that everybody. I think everybody should at least read a book. Uh, one, Maybe one book a month. Maybe if you don't have a whole lot of time, just read one book a month. Just keep reading that book till you get that book done, and then pick out another good book to read. Just pass up time. Uh, Me personally, I read philosophy books. I read karate books. I read like um, some Star Wars books in a once in a while. I don't just read martial art books. I read different books because uh, 9 out of 10, if you do the same thing day in and day out, everything will look the same to you. If you just do the same thing over and over and over. And that's the reason why I like to switch it up. Sometimes I like to read or, get a little brain thinking going on and, try to understand on what I'm reading and then, you know, read about an hour or so. Give yourself an hour to read. That's what I usually do. Um, I usually do it at night, maybe only like a few hours before bed. That way I can at least, be like, okay, I read a little bit, that way I can sleep better. And I usually use it to help me unwind. Um, Plus, it make time go by faster too on my off days. Um, but other than that, like I said, that book's been pretty good so far. I have not. Um, Most books anymore, like they don't even really tell like the brief history of the style that much. They might give like a few infos on where it came from and all of that. But this book, I mean, it gives literally every single detail on the point on where each style of each system came about and in the world of karate. Um, Basically, it came from China. Um, I come to the conclusion after reading, that book and going back through every other martial art um, book out there. Um, Most books will say, "Oh, this style came from Japan," or "This style came from China," or "This style came from the Philippines," or whatever. Well, the thing of it is, it all originally came from China. I mean, literally, the monk Buddha Mar, the master of Kung Fu, way I understood it, he traveled from India and went to China. And on his way to China, he learned, made up his own system up on fighting or meditation forms of combat, and then taught it to the people that were at the temple. Then it later became Shaolin Kung Fu because it was a form of exercises for the monks themselves. Um, what I would say that would it come from India, the martial arts, since Buddha Mar was from India. Um, does not have no history, brief point on where it originally came from. Other than that, he was from India. He traveled to China on foot and went to the temple, and then there he was training the monks. Um, but when you come to think of it, um, let's take uh, all the Chinese masters that are on movies, like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, um, David Carradine, um, John Claude Van Damme, and Chuck Norris. Um, they would all say that karate, uh, whatever style they study, wushu and all that, you know, kickboxing, they'll say that, yeah, it all came from China. China is the birthplace of martial arts. And to me, honestly, since China is the birthplace of martial arts, um, that's where the styles have been invented. But when it comes to what year and stuff that it comes down to on when it was invented, um, some people really don't know. They either just usually give an estimate and they just write it down on their knowledge and their opinion. And the thing of it is that when you get to thinking when you read out books, you get to thinking, how do they get this information? These people are long gone. They passed away like so many years ago. These people are long gone, and like, how do you come up with the dates, the year, all the information about them, and then post it down? That's just weird. Um, and books like that, because I think it's kind of fascinating. If you read about certain masters, what they achieved, and what their greatest defeats were. My greatest historical master was Miyoto, the legendary samurai. He's one of my favorite old traditional masters because he wielded a sword, and that's what he believed in. He didn't go to no school to train on. In the way of a samurai. He didn't get taught all this. He learned all of it on his own, made up his own system, made up his own school, and then later on down the road, he ended up carrying on some pupils to get taught by him before his death to carry on his legacy. Um, Now, if you want more of his studies on Miyamoto, um, get the Book of Five Rings if you're into samurai history. Um, Another one would be Samurai, the Code of the Samurai, the Bushido book. Now, that goes into more of a deeper meaning behind the Japanese traditions and how they did things in their way of life of the warrior way, and but both very interesting books. But other than that, um, my training's been going good. I ordered me a DVD online like last week, I think it was, and I ended up using an Amazon gift card to order it, and it came like after like almost half a week after I ordered it. Um, it's a Fred Valari's Shaolin Kempo Karate DVD. I used to have it in my old collection back then, and when I moved down here, I ended up losing it. And I thought it was like the best DVD out there for possibly learning martial arts, or a home study course. Uh, Basically, you learn a few moves off DVD, and this is what I usually do since I already know so much on what I know about martial arts. Uh, Usually on what I do when I do training, I'll learn a few moves off of a DVD or a video or what I learned in the past, and kind of work on it, torque it up a little bit, and do it my own way, and that's how I usually do it. I'll usually do like the patterns, like if I learn it off video. I'll do it in different combinations. I'll end up doing it different ways. I don't just do it just the traditional way. I always try to do it in a newer form, a newer way, the newer methods of doing things. Um, because the traditional blocking, you ain't gonna be able to block quick enough, like to do this quick enough um, in a fight. Um, 9 out of 10, if you're fighting, when you're blocking, usually it's either like this, or like this, or open hand, in block, open hand, in block, elbow strike, elbow walking to the midsection, elbow walking to the midsection, lower blocking, high blocking, high blocking. Pretty much that's the newer way of blocking system based off the boxing system itself. Other than that, when it comes to the old ways is more slow and rigid, because that's what they was used to back then. Um, does it give you a good workout when doing the old traditional ways? Yes, it does. I usually use the traditional ways, methods, and stuff like that. Into my training, I usually use the traditional way more. I do use the newer way some. I try to utilize the newer way into my own way, into combat. I don't really just rely on the old traditions. Even though I was trained in the old traditional way of fighting, but to me, martial arts is just fighting and learn how to fight. I don't really believe in traditions, but I believe in martial arts is about self defense only. Martial arts is the way of life itself, and that basically when you're doing martial arts and you're training, and you think it's about revenge, or you think it's about uh, basically going around bullying other people. It's not all about that. Martial arts is about respecting, being humble with oneself, and to me, most people don't get into that aspects of martial arts anymore because they think, oh, martial arts is about hurting others, doing harm to others, and want to do something into somebody else, and that's what they think martial arts is about because they see it off the movies, they see it online, and people tell them what to do online. And to me, that's not martial arts. That's, martial arts, in my opinion, is self defense and the way of life. Helps you try to get better, helps you try to get smarter, helps you have better hand-eye coordination, reflexes, flexibility, and stamina in your lungs. Um, Pretty much, martial art is the number one thing for me that keeps me going in life. Um, but other than that, when you come to realize, you know, when you don't do competitions anymore, or you don't train at a dojo, and you have a lot of time to reflect on, you know, yourself, and instead of having somebody tell you, hey, you need to do this, or do it this way, or do it that way, you have time to reflect on yourself, to learn on how yourself is, learn about yourself. You know, that's what solo training is about. Most people say solo training sucks. They don't really like to train alone. And that's the reason why Kung Fu Masters today, they are so good at what they do in their craft, because they just don't train with their students. They train by themselves too to perfect their technique and stuff like that. And that's the thing on how I think in the martial arts and today. And basically, when you're training in martial arts, you ain't gonna go and always have somebody there with you to train with. And, you gotta come to it and say, hey, I gotta work out on my own. And, try doing this on my own and see what I can come up with. You ain't gonna have somebody that's gonna be there the rest of your life, tell you to point the way. And, sometimes some masters, in their art that have a school, they get tired of teaching, and then bam, they close up their school, then you don't have nowhere else to learn your style what you want to learn. And similar like what I do, then you're just stuck with what you know. And to me, that's the reason why I, learn how to books, learn how to do these, learn online and stuff like that. But uh, do I think it's just fighting and learn, to do harm to others? No. I think it has more of philosophy, more of understanding about oneself. It don't have uh, just to get back at somebody, or just to get revenge on somebody. Martial arts is about self protection, And to be able to do martial arts, you must learn to heal one. You can hurt others, but you can learn to hurt others, but before you can learn to do martial arts, you must learn to heal yourself. And learn to heal people. And if you can learn that, then you can learn martial arts. That's just my opinion. Basically, on what that means is basically to help others, not to do harm to others. That was basically kind of off of a Steven Seagal movie, a line off of it when he said that on Hard to Kill movie to that woman that was a nurse or a doctor or whatever she was in the movie to him. And he said that line basically saying, you could learn to hurt people, but you must learn to heal yourself and learn to heal others if you want to be great. And what he means by that means basically to help others, not to hurt others. And basically he's right. So there you have it. I know I went long enough in this video, so I'll talk to you all later. Peace out. And Seth McDonald signing out. God bless on this beautiful Sunday, and take care. Train hard, train smart, be yourself, be who you are, and find your own way of doing things. And don't let everybody tell you that, oh, you're doing this wrong or you're doing that wrong. But be respectful about it and be yourself. And that's all I say. And just remember, martial arts is not about hurting others. It's about self-defense only. But stay calm and humble to one another. And peace out.